Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Phil's Five. We're right here at the end of May, which means that we have, by my count, three more episodes of Phil's Five remaining before I ride off into the sunset here. So let's get right to it. I'm going to start with some kudos, and well-deserved kudos at that, for our Metro East division. They had, a week ago on Sunday, their most successful Cars for CASA event in their history, and that's a car show that they've been running for 18 years that raises money for court-appointed special advocates in Rockwall. So kids that, unfortunately, whether it's through an abusive situation or something unfortunately similar, find themselves in the part of the court system, it puts an advocate in their corner and makes sure that the system works to make sure that they have a safe and assured future. And a lot of passion this time with 400 entries, 3,000 attendees. They expect to net over $100,000 to help kids in the Rockwall community, and that gets them to just shy of $1 million that they've raised to date working through that. And we had staff from the association, President John Parizek, past President Michael Turner, also last week's being able to volunteer at the Samaritan Inn, which is another project that the association has worked on and has helped with folks in our community that are transitionally homeless. And so between the Cars for CASA event and the serving dinner at the Samaritan Inn, it was a very good week for us to give back in the community, and I love the impact that the association makes out there. More of that to come, and kind of sticking with that theme, tomorrow, Thursday at 2:30 p.m., we're going to have the kickoff for our 9th Operation Finally Home project. This is another home will be built mortgage-free for a combat wounded veteran and their family. Really appreciate the generosity that we always get. We're going to need some support on this one, just like we did for the prior 8. And the town hall is going to be, like I said, at 2:30 here at our office. We need suppliers to donate materials to the homes and the subcontractors to help out with their expertise. You can register for this at dallasbuilders.org. If you can't make it in person, we will have a Zoom option available, but really want you to engage and help get this project up and running, and appreciate the support in advance. Also, tomorrow we've got a luncheon meeting at Maggiano's North Park for our Dallas division. It's going to be focusing on residential construction markets and trends. It's going to feature Alan Hoffman, Richard Miller, Michael Manier, as builders are just kind of talking about what they see in their world, the trends that are driving the home buyers that they're working with, and some of the things that they're trying to do to distinguish themselves from the competition out there. And you can register for that at dallasbuilders.org as well. The young professionals on June 8th, so next week, they're going to have a networking breakfast here at the Dallas BA office. So they'll have breakfast tacos and networking with other members. That's designed for members age 40 and under. It's free, but reservations are required for that, so you can do so, sticking with the theme again, at dallasbuilders.org. And last but not least on my list is my walk down memory lane. So we'll talk about a little bit about some stuff that I know we wanted to maybe put in the past and get in the back of our mind, but it was still a watershed moment for the association. That was during those early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, towards the latter half of March 2020. I remember it really well, even though it seems like an awful long time ago, but we had to make a stand, and we had to figure out and articulate how to make sure that the association was out front and making sure that the industry was able to remain operational, remain essential, and be able to work in a safe manner as we were trying to figure out what we were up against in those days. And what we were up against on the regulatory front was county governments and local governments, before the state stepped in, trying to quarterback the pandemic response. And there were differing, as you remember, ideas on how to do that and how aggressive to be. And it was a really close call to make sure that the home building and the housing industry was able to remain open and essential. And long story short, we were able to do that. I was talking to the Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins, and we had just received basically a kit that and a work plan from NAHB that borrowed from the silica rule and some of those OSHA requirements, and they were able to hotwire it for an airborne respiratory virus and provide a way that the industry could work safely during that time. And the fact that we had that and we had thought through it, and we were making sure to remind everybody how essential this industry is for providing one of the basic needs that humans crave here, and that shelter, of course, allowed us to overcome those challenges, and then also make sure that we were working safely. At the time, we had gallons upon gallons of hand sanitizer here at the office, which at the time was something that was thought to be an important part of the response. And I was really thrilled with how quickly everybody was able to evolve and adapt, and a lot of that happened. If you look way back in the archives of the video, maybe somewhat ironically, I had COVID during that time, and so I definitely had a profound appreciation for the challenges that the virus had for someone who was otherwise healthy, but also the essential nature of our business and why we needed to be able to have the opportunity to continue to make a living. So I'm glad we were able to do that. It was awesome to see the membership come together and adapt in the ways that we had to get through that. And of course, the rest was history. I mean, you see how well the market responded, and you saw a profound need for housing. So those arguments that we were making really proved true in the numbers as the pandemic was prolonged a lot more than we thought it was going to, as you saw the work from home phenomenon, and as we saw just the accumulation of the years and years of underbuilding that's happened, especially in this market. Those are lessons that hopefully aren't lost in the past for that, because there are certainly things we're going to have to reckon with in the future. But that's my walk down memory lane for this version. I'll have 3 more that I can think of, but for whatever reason, that was at the top of my mind this week. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time, actually probably from Washington, D.C. as part of our legislative meeting. So stay tuned for that. I'll talk to you then. Bye.